and so you use motherwort for overactive thyroid, which is hyperthyroidism, and motherwort is used for itching. Motherwort is used for shingles, for intestinal gas, flatulence, and motherwort is used for lack of menstrual periods. If you feel like you should be having one and you're not be able to bring on that, this will help to bring on that menstrual period and regulate it. So there's some other uses, and more evidence is needed to rate the effectiveness of motherwort. But these, for these uses, side effects of motherwort could be stomach irritation, uterine bleeding, sleeplessness, and allergic reactions. Skin and contact with the skin and motherwort can cause rashes and increased sensitivity to the sun. So these are things that we all have to be aware of. And as an herbalist, when you are recommending these kinds of herbs and so forth, that's where you have to look at the reactions and reactions and so forth, so that you're looking for it. So that in case you get this 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 or 10,000 that gives a reaction, you're able to, know right away. Oh, okay, we got to change it and use a different herb for what we're using it for. And special precautions and warnings with motherwort, pregnancy, and breastfeeding. Well, taking motherwort during pregnancy is unsafe, and it should be avoided. So motherwort is not something you'd use during pregnancy at all. And motherwort can stimulate the uterus, and it may cause miscarriage, and you need to know that. And breastfeeding mothers should also avoid using motherwort. And not enough is known about the safety of using motherwort when breastfeeding, because baby's going to get it, through the breast milk. And motherwort, heart conditions. Motherwort can interfere with the treatment of heart conditions. If you have a heart condition, get your healthcare provider's advice before starting motherwort. And surgery, well, motherwort can slow down and sedate the central nervous system and the CNS, where there is a concern with motherwort that when combined with anesthesia and other medications used during and after surgery, motherwort might cause too much sedation. So stop using motherwort at least 2 weeks before scheduled surgery. And uterine bleeding. Motherwort may be able to stimulate uterine blood flow, which is why some women try it for starting their periods. And if you have uterine bleeding condition, use motherwort with caution, since it might make the condition worse. Possible side effects: sedative medications, CNS depressants, interact with motherwort. Motherwort might cause sleeplessness, drowsiness. Medications that cause sleeplessness are called sedatives. Taking motherwort along with sedative medications might cause too much sleepiness. And some sedative medications, including clonazepam, Klonopin, and lorazepam, Ativan, phenobarbital, Donatol, zolpidem, Ambien, and others about about blood clots. There's more information about clotting and blood clots as well here. But that really gives you some details about some herbs that could be helpful, and going deep, looking at those herbs in depth. Now we're talking about epilepsy. When there's brain injuries, when the brain experiences an injury through illness or an accident, a grand mal seizure might occur, and that's a warning from the Mayo Clinic. And the type of brain injury implicated in a grand mal seizures is called an anoxic brain injury. This condition stems from the lack of oxygen to the brain, which causes improper function of the brain cells. Now, accidents such as near drowning and exposure to elevated carbon monoxide levels can cause anoxic brain injuries. Abnormal heart rhythms and stroke can also cause a brain injury and cause a grand mal seizure, as can trauma to the brain resulting from a severe head injury. And drugs and alcohol. According to Mayo Clinic, it says that drug and alcohol withdrawal can contribute to grand mal seizures. Drugs that can cause a grand mal seizures include sleep medications and general anesthetics that are used during surgery. And in addition, cocaine overdoses and amphetamines can promote this type of seizure, and as can overdosing on tricyclic antidepressants, warns the Merck manual in the home edition. And who also says that those cases where the cases of seizure cannot be identified, they are referred to as idiopathic. The military is known to expose soldiers to poisons and drugs and vaccinations that could cause seizures. And we've got somebody with an open mic who is moving around a lot, and now they stopped moving for a minute. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Now we're almost done here, but I just wanted to make sure you knew about these things. Now, brain infections. Again, we have somebody moving around a lot with an open mic, and it's echoing right through. Everybody is listening to that person move around. Okay, all right, thank you. Brain infections. I'm almost done here. Encephalitis, toxoplasmosis, tetanus, rabies, and brain abscess are types of brain infections that can alter the electrical activity of the brain. And the Mayo Clinic states that a past medical history of a brain infection can cause a grand mal seizure. And finally and lastly, low-level blood nutrients. If individuals have low levels of selective nutrients in the blood, a grand mal seizure can occur, says the Mayo Clinic. When a diabetic patients experience low levels of blood glucose levels, hypoglycemia can occur, increasing the risk of this type of seizure. And in addition, decreased levels of calcium, magnesium, vitamin B6, and sodium can also lead to grand mal seizures. So you want to make sure you want to have calcium, magnesium, vitamin B6, and some good salt. Good salt, not just any kind of salt or sodium. I like Himalayan sea salt myself. That pink Himalayan sea salt, Himalayan salt. That's what I use for my sodium, and I use plenty of it, and I love it. Anyway, all of these things can lead to grand mal seizures, which are usually more common in those under the age of 2. We're talking about generally infants, children, up to the age of 2, are not getting enough nutrients in their body, wind up with these grand mal seizures from lack of nutrition. And that's according to the Merck Manual Home Edition. That's it. That is quite a bit of information about seizures. And let's see if I can bring back, we'll get rid of that now. and come back over here to there we are. So I don't know if we still have that person from Grenada. Janice, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you hear all of that?
Yes, I did, and I cannot believe this.
Yes. So now we have a video of this that will be up on YouTube within a couple of you'll see a raw version of it up on YouTube within 24 hours, but you'll see an edited view of this will be on the Discoveries in Health. Well, it'll be on the herbalhealthreview.com, herbalhealthreview.com. Under Discoveries in Health, we publish all the videos from these broadcasts that we're doing here are on Discoveries in Health. So you'll see that within a week or so. You'll see this.
Okay.
So in case you wanted to review that again. But I hope that has been helpful for you, okay?
Man, you just don't know. You just opened my eyes up.
Well, that's the purpose of this, is to really give you a lot of information, not just a little bit. We want to take the time to give you the full report on it, and that's what science knows about it as of now. And of course, as things, that's why we keep doing research constantly, because things change. And as they change, we'll be changing that report. But right now, that's the report as of now. And I want to thank you for asking that question. And I hope that you'll be in contact with us. You do have my telephone number, which is 503-362-5899. You've got my email, which is truman@healthherbs.com. And of course, where to get all of these products is from betterhealthherbs.com.
Okay.
Betterhealthherbs.com. And their phone number is 541-791-8400. That's 541-791-8400. And that is a not-for-profit. That is my grandchildren. No one is making any money doing this. This is a labor of love for Jesus Christ, and a big amen on that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead in Grenada. I'm going to mute your line, and I'm going to take a call from anybody else. A question. If anyone else has a question, or if Sister Kashakia, if you're ready to give us a presentation more about one of my favorite products, and that is Tahitian noni. Are you there, Sister Kashakia? I don't hear.
Yes.
She's there.
I'm here,
Okay.
Yes, I was muted.
Okay.
Yes, I was here listening to everything you've been saying this whole time, and I heard the lady responding back to you, so I was just trying to make sure was she still saying something, but I'm here. So I'm in about 5 more minutes. Let me get situated. We just had some people walk in. Let me switch my phone to another part of the house where it's more quieter. And about 5 more minutes, I'll be ready.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk with Sister Kashakia. Always very interesting and informative. Now, if you have a question, the lines are open. If you have a question, that was a spontaneous question about seizures. And that was all the information about that. What is your spontaneous question? Do you have a question about a natural remedy, about a health issue? We don't prescribe. We don't diagnose. What we're talking about are natural remedies that could be information. All we know is what we read and what we research. We're not trying to play doctor here, but we want you to be well informed about what your choices are. That's why we go in such detail, and there is that wonderful information website, herbalhealthreview.com. herbalhealthreview.com. And all those reports there under conditions, all the videos under Dr. Burst's live reports, where we've made all these videos that are giving you all this information. It's all free. You can't buy anything on Herbal Health Review. It's all free information. And of course, there's testimonials. There are many, many people who have been helped. And all praises to the Most High, because the Lord does the healing. We're just pointing the direction to the natural remedies that could be helpful for you. Now, again, do we have a question? If anyone has a question or wants me to, if you have a certain topic that we can go into, let me know what that might be. And while we're then waiting for Sister Kashaki to get situated, I'm going to drink some of my cranberry juice. Good for the kidneys. Good stuff. Now, I've been working on these reports because I find a lot of these reports about my work are, well, they needed some updating. They always need updating. There's always more and more information. And so I've updated a lot of these reports, and I've updated the abscesses report, and we talked about that earlier. I updated the acne. You know, a lot of people have skin disorders. I mean, at least once a week, somebody asks me, what can I do, to get rid of acne and have wonderful, clear skin? And so I'm going to pull that over here on the screen while we're waiting for Sister Kashakia. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. There you go. And then I'm going to go down over here. And then I'm going to bring that over there. I'm going to drop that report that's over on herbalhealthreview.com under acne. And it's great. It's a great little report. It talks about green tea antiseptic soap and oatmeal plus complexion soap to kill bacteria and reduce inflammation. It talks about tea tree oil for acne. These are some of the top things. Bentonite clay powder, you can make a mask out of it. And you can even make it with apple cider vinegar. And wow, talk about pull everything out of your face. You practically wind up with a new face. And colloidal silver water generator, again, there's that water. It kills all the unfriendly bacteria and whatever is on your face there that's causing that acne. It talks about taking stinging nettles internally. When you take, stinging nettles, it's a good idea to know about them because they're anti-inflammatory and it helps to reduce the inflammation. Plus, it's loaded with all kinds of minerals and nutrients that are specifically good for skin disorders. Stinging nettle, high in nutrition that fights off acne. And there's an acne skin disorders herbal formula number 1003. Ah, yeah. Those are the herbs all together in one liquid tincture extract over there from betterhealthherbs.com. They make it, and it's wonderful. It helps it's got all these different herbs in it, acne and skin disorders. What's in it? Let's take a look at my catalog here. Acne and skin disorders. Yeah. It's got black walnut, burdock root, pau de orco, astragalus, yellow dock, golden seal, sassafras, valerian root, echinacea, plantain, chickweed, and garlic. That is an herbal formula. Yes, and something you need to know about these herbal formulas. The FDA has this scheme. And their scheme is working. We'll visit acne some more. But anyway, this report on acne over here on Herbal Health Review, it's got everything that you need to know how to get rid of acne, and it works. So it's a great report. We'll go into it a little bit more later. But I kind of wanted to mention what the scheme that the FDA, their latest scheme is, because they hate the natural foods industry. They think that all you should need is their poison drugs, and the reason they think that way is they get $2.5 billion every year from the pharmaceutical industry. So you'd think that way too, I guess, if the pharmaceutical industry gave you $2.5 billion every year to beat up on the natural foods industry, I guess you'd do it. You don't know, maybe you wouldn't, maybe I wouldn't, but there's certainly some unscrupulous individuals who become FDA individuals, and then they work their criminal extortion racket of going around to the very small herbal remedies manufacturers. You know, the ones that don't have $3 million worth of equipment, so they go around to these little guys and they say, "Oh, you know, I know you got a certificate of analysis when you buy the herb, which you know you got high quality product right there, and that's good. So as soon as you get that through your door, and you've got that certificate in your hand, then send it out again and get another one at an extra expense, and make your customers pay for that, because then if you take that herb and you can put it with another herb, then you got to test it again. And if you add another herb, you got to test it again and again and again. Oh, and by the way, an herbal remedy that used to cost $20 will now cost about $600. That is what the FDA's scheme is to put the little herbalist in America out of business, and they're doing it. Left, right, left, because they say, if you can't test it and test it and test it and test it, and pass all that expense on to the public, then you can't manufacture natural remedies. So all of the herbalists in America, and you got to think about this, that thousands of years ago, somebody found an herb. They found and so they learned how to make it, and they found out that herb was good for their stomach. And then they're in the village of about 40 or 50 people, maybe not more than 100 in each village. And there's this herbal person, and they found this herb and they found that herb, and they're good at it. And so if you get a stomach ache, you go to that person and you trade them a chicken for some herbs, and that's the salt of the earth. That's how mankind interacted with one another. Well, now, if you don't have $3 million worth of equipment, you're not supposed to make an herbal medicine and hand it to somebody. No. It's got to be multi-tested, more severe than a drug. Yet the FDA okays, all these drugs that are killing people, the FDA okayed them at one point, said, fine, go out, everybody have some of this drug, it's okay, we approved it. And then people are dropping dead. And then pretty soon the FDA says, it's not approved anymore. Or it's approved and they don't care, because they do both. Anyway, a criminal extortion racket is all that it really is. Now, I'm kind of thinking to myself, Sister Kashaki is probably ready. It's been 5 minutes.
Yes, it has, brother, and I'm here. I've been listening to you.
Okay. All right. What did you think of my analogy of the FDA?
I thought it was right on point. It always is.
Yeah.
I thought it was right on point. You don't want me to repeat what I said the FDA means.
Oh, okay.
Fools, dummy. I know they call it the Food and Drug Administration, but I got a whole other name for it. So I think you were right on point, Doctor.
Okay. So, my dear friend, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to share?
Well, we're going to talk about cleansing your heart and your mind and soul, the emotional and mental and spiritual detoxing as I usher into the subject of the AGE. So, kind of going into talking about, I heard you earlier talking about the neurotransmitter. So, we're going to talk about serotonin and the role that that plays on what you were talking about earlier. Being, I say, that's how we know we must be in the spirit. When you link to the same spirit, great minds think alike. So, you kind of took that lead for me. So, that just makes me piggyback right on behind you. So that's what I'm kind of got to go into, and then just branch off talking about the AGEs and then the product, and then where, of course, they can get it from. So that's what I'm talking about. So welcome again, everyone. I am Sister Kashakia out of Dallas, Texas. I am with the GOCC body here in Dallas, Texas, and it is a pleasure to be able to come every week with a different topic. I am a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011, and I was healed supernaturally by the power of the Most High and Wawak Kadash, which is the Holy Spirit, as well as a food supplement called Tahitian Noni Juice, or the True Age Max, which is the sister version of the Tahitian Noni Juice. So, 2012, I've been free ever since of cancer, and so I've been running like a wild horse, going from coast to coast, and wherever it is, I can get an open door to educate people on AGEs, the roles that they play, and the harmful compounds that they are, and what they actually do to the body, and how can you actually reverse the AGE so you can be able to live younger, longer, and be able to maximize the 120 years that the Most High said that his spirit will strive with man for 120 years. So I'm here to help make sure that people can at least live a healthier life living up to these 120 years. So going into that, in addition to talking about detoxifying your organs, your tissues, and your cells, and just really understanding that cleansing helps you to reconnect, both with your natural rhythm and the rhythm of the earth, the process of nourishing your body with special cleansing and healing and strengthening foods, which is what I'm talking about with Tahitian Noni Juice. It's a food supplement. The strengthening of different foods allows you the space and basically time to return your center, I call it, and step back from some of the influences of our toxic world. We're just over bombarded with so many different toxins, commercials, things sitting on the shelves at grocery stores, and people are really truly looking for a more holistic approach to being able to deal with the sicknesses and the diseases that they have. But how do you know what's right and kind of what's not right? So I'm kind of going to talk about how we suppress our emotions with these toxic foods, and how once we do that, it begins to get us to a point where we need to be detoxified emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and how food and these AGEs play a role in that. So I'm just kind of going to read something that was documented down, and then I like to also start off using the dictionary, which is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, for any new people that's maybe on the line, talking about the definition of food. And I read this every single week so it can be repetitiously heard over and over and over, so you can get God's understanding on the word of food. Because if I tell someone to go to the store and pick up me some food, we typically think food just means, well, just bring me back something to eat, not really specifying what is food, So our mouths are moving and we're chewing, that sometimes I tell people we look like a horse just chewing grass. We don't even know what we're eating. We're just chewing. Tastes good. But let's find out what really food is to see what is all this chewing that we're doing. So it says food is a nutritive material taken into a living organism to sustain life. So first of all, food is for the purpose of giving nutrients, and it's a material, and it's to be taken into a living organism, because you yourself, you are a living organism, and it's for the purpose to sustain life. to promote growth and the repair of the tissues, and to give energy for the vital processes. So again, it's also to help us grow. Sometimes people's different things, they stop growing, their toenails stop growing, your hair stops growing. Your hair, I mean, just different organs and things in the body is not growing the way it should because it doesn't have the right nutrients. So you're nutrient deficient on many nutrients that you need on a day-to-day basis from your everyday foods. And when your body doesn't have it, then it begins to stunt the growth period sometimes, as well as the tissues get clogged up. And then it ends up leading to being fatigued and tired because energy is supposed to also come from the nutrition and the nutrients that you get from the food. So you can look that up again in the Zondervan in the Bible Dictionary. There's a lot more that goes there with that word food, but it's very lengthy, so I'm not going to go into it. But that basically, that first paragraph gives us the understanding on what the Most High is identifying and calling food. You know, when it talks about, especially what I'm talking about, Tahitian noni juice, which is a plant made from the earth. And next week I'll kind of go into the definition on what the Most High is calling as a medicine, you know. But talking about how we suppress our emotions. Sometimes our emotions can seem toxic and uncomfortable, so we avoid experiencing them by denying or kind of suppressing them, just totally disregarding them, acting as if they're not there. So research confirms that unresolved issues and emotional baggage, they affect all aspects of our lives, and it can result in a variety of serious symptoms, which lead to a lot of the symptoms that we're on this line talking about today. The reverse also is true as well, you know. So going into talking about your gut contains neurotransmitters that affect your emotional well-being. So it's easy to see kind of how these aspects of your life are so closely, you know, intertwined. And not only does your gut contain most of your body's immune system, but it also contains cells that carry emotions to your brain. So as a mass, these cells, they form a aggregate of neural tissue, kind of filled with important neurotransmitters that convey feelings and emotions to your brain. So this network of neurons lining your gut is basically so extensive that it's known as the second brain, what a lot of people call it. And going into talking about the second brain or the enteric nervous system, it consists of sheaths. I'm saying sheaths, sheaths of neurons embedded in the walls of the long tube of your gut. Your entire digestive system, measuring about 9 meters from end to end of that long neck, what I'm talking about, from the esophagus to the anus. And like I said, I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011, and that's exactly the type of cancer that I was diagnosed with, which was anal cancer. I was 38 years old when I was diagnosed, and anal cancer is a very, very rare cancer, especially for people my age. But this, what I'm describing here, this measuring of about 9 meters from end to end, from the esophagus to the anus, is exactly where I was attacked with the cancer in 2011. So it contains some almost, I would say, 100 million neurons, kind of more that are found in your spinal cord or your peripheral nervous system, enabling you to feel the inner world of your gut and significantly affecting your emotions. So ever experienced the flutter of butterflies in your stomach before a stressful event? I know I've had butterflies, you know, for many different occasions. If I had to take a test or I was really anxious about something. So I think a lot of us have experienced that point when you just had butterflies all over you. That's kind of one of the examples of your enteric nervous system at work. So that's what's going on when you're feeling that. Your emotional health may allow messages relayed from your brain below to your brain above. So the relationship between these two brains in your head and in your gut has been linked with both mental health issues such as anxiety and depression, and physical health issues like irritable bowel syndrome, ulcers, and Parkinson's disease. Another factor affecting this relationship between emotional stress and physical stress is the neurotransmitter serotonin. A whooping 95% of this chemical, which is responsible for the feelings of happiness and contentment, lives in the gut. So A lot of times when maybe you're trying to figure out what's wrong, or you find yourself just crying, or you're not really, really happy, or maybe on the flip side, maybe you are really, really happy. You're really, really focused. That's how you can kind of determine your serotonin levels, if they're high or if they're low. Because if they're low, then you're going to get what I was just talking about a while ago, where people are kind of crying, they're really sad, they're irritable, they're impatient, they're very impulsive, they just kind of itching in their pants, full of anxiety, kind of depressed. The serotonin levels are very low in the brain. If they are the complete opposite of that and the serotonin levels are very high, then that means that they're at a good high serotonin level, So that's how you can kind of tell if you need to incorporate something with serotonin in them. And the Tahitian noni plant has serotonin automatically built into it by the Most High. So going back to talking about it, like I said, whooping 95%. So that's almost a whole of 100%. So this chemical, 95% of it, which is responsible, like I said, for the feelings of the happiness and the contentment, it lives in the gut. So the digestive process begins when a specialized cell admits the serotonin into the wall of your gut. So it's like a messenger keeping the brain in your skull informed kind of about what's happening in your second brain, below. So they really work in hand. So your emotions, which are directly influenced by your two brains, they manifest themselves in your physical body. And if you don't allow yourself to really feel your feelings, they never leave you. They just kind of lay dormant and hid somewhere, but they're still there, resulting in self-sabotaging behavior that can lead to addiction and illnesses. So that's why a lot of people today are on these drugs, whether we're talking about street drugs or conventional medications or prescription medications, things like this, because the underlying problem that needs to be addressed, which again we're talking about detoxing spiritually, mentally, and health-wise. If you notice, if a person has the serotonin in them, and actually I had a patient today that's exactly what the doctor told that she needed. She needs to have, she's 82 years old, and she needed to have more serotonin. So she ordered her 2 bottles of the True Age Max when I showed her the nutritionable, the 150 different nutrients, because there is 150 different nutrients that is found inside the Max. They are living nutrients, which is very, very, very important to understand, because nowadays when you buy food, if you don't buy it fresh and eat it, almost immediately, the nutrients have already, been oxidated or pasteurized, and they're gone out of there. So there's really no really live nutrients that you're taking in. So that's what the cells and the tissue in the body is actually looking for. And then that's when it begins to start creating in the gut, which is where a big portion of the immune system, and not only does the gut need the serotonin, but the brain needs it as well. So when it's not there, then these are the different mood swings and things that you kind of fall into. So you can kind of lead to some of this sabotaging behavior. I used to have a son that had ADHD, and I could always tell when his serotonin level was high, or if I was dealing with someone that was bipolar, I can always tell when they need an food supplement that has serotonin. Some people's serotonin is at an okay level, but the majority of the population on Earth, it's not, because our food supply has been contaminated. Most people are on prescription medications. You're definitely not getting the serotonin from that. If anything, it's robbing your cells from what little bit that your body does have. And so it keeps you in a depressed state where you just don't really feel like getting out. You're really not sociable. You really don't want to function with people. You're just kind of there, but you're like, blah. You don't really care one way or another. So putting that serotonin back into the body will begin to rebalance the body and restore the immune system, as well as mental clarity in the brain, to bring that happy feeling back. So though we often recall and fear when toxin feelings arise, when we fully experience our feelings, we can free ourselves from their destructive grip, because it's better to talk about it, get it out, versus just like I was saying earlier, where we just kind of let it stay dormant, and we just, we know we're going through things in this life, but we really, some people, they say, I think you need to talk to someone. I don't need to talk to no one. You ever heard people say like that? You need to talk to someone, They're already getting grumpy, and all you did was just kind of recommend it. Hey, maybe you'll feel better if you talk to someone, But they need to talk to someone on serotonin, to keep them happy. If not, you might have some objects being thrown across the room at you. So the serotonin plays a vital, vital role. So cleansing, it offers an opportunity to work through your emotions with clarity and a peaceful heart. And when you nurture your body with the healing and cleansing foods, you learn how food can nourish and sustain you rather than sabotage or punish you. So you begin to realize that your relationship with food can teach you about your relationship with life. And so that leads me into talking about AGEs, which is what I talk about every single week on this show, which is an acronym, just like it's spelled, AGEs, which means Advanced Glycation End Products. Glycations are the new social media talk. They're all over the talk about, especially like dealing with cosmetics, all that type of stuff, facial stuff. I mean, they're all over different cable channels talking about what these AGEs are doing and how they are affecting the body. So you're probably saying, what are AGEs? And AGEs are harmful compounds that form when sugar molecules and protein peptides fuse together. So AGEs are formed in the food we eat, again, talking about food, and they also form inside our bodies. So AGEs are linked to pretty much every major disease and ailment known to man, everything from diabetes and heart disease to premature aging. So one of the best and easiest ways you can manage your AGEs is through consuming the Tahitian noni juice or the True Age Max. It is the only product on the market that is clinically proven to reduce and manage these AGEs that I'm speaking about in the body. The True Age Max is the ultimate AGE fighter. And the True Age Max is combined of simply nothing but berries. So different sources of berries are really good for you. So these berries have a bioactive compound inside of them that plays different roles for therapeutic healing and other type of healings, which is called iridoids. Iridoids are spelled IRIDOIDS. These iridoids are only found inside of certain food plants, not regular food plants, but medicinal food plants that have certain medicinal benefits and properties in them, such as the noni. These are not found inside of fruits and berries out of like a grocery store, Walmart, Sprouts, or Trader Joe's, or some of the everyday grocery stores that they're found in. This noni comes all the way from the South Pacific over in the island of Tahiti, around the Bora Bora and the Marquesas area, where it grows in the wild, just in absolute abundance. It's not a seasonal food plant. It grows all year round. And when you pick one of them off the tree, when you pick that one, 3 more grow back in place to that one that was picked. So it just grows in abundance. So the company that I market for, called Morinda, they have agreed with the natives there, which is the tribe of Naphtali, or they're known in the land as what's called the French Polynesians, part of the lost tribes of Israel, but they are the harvesters who cultivate. And when they came over on the boat from their captivity and they came over into that land, they brought the seeds with them. And when they planted the seeds in the earth, then you simply have what you have today, where it just grows like wildfire. So it grows, where it gets a certain amount of sunshine over there, where it gets a certain amount of the water around the Mediterranean area that's very pure, no MSGs, no chemicals, no hormones, no preservatives. Everything that is naturally put into this fruit is put there by the Most High. So another one of the berries that consists of the iridoids is the noni, which has the highest content. There are 16 different iridoids that are inside this noni. Also, the blueberry has iridoids as well. And not just any iridoid, but not just any blueberry, but this blueberry comes from Chile. Also, the olive has the iridoid, and not just any olive. This olive comes from Morocco. The Canadian cherry, which comes from Turkey. And also the cranberry, which is right there out of the state that my dear friend Dr. Truman is in. It comes from Oregon. So Dr. Truman, I'm pretty sure, is getting a chance to taste some of those good cranberries there from the harvesters there in the state of Oregon. So each one of these berries come from a different place inside of the earth, and they have to go that far to get them because all fruits and berries are not the same, and they're specifically looking for those that have these living active bioactive compounds called iridoids in them. So combined, this is what makes up a product called the True Age Max, which is 120 milligrams combined together. The original Tahitian noni juice, or what's called the Tahitian noni Encore. N means noni, core is for the heart because the heart is the core. It has black currant that's combined with the noni juice, which is good for heart properties, cardiovascular properties. So people that have artery problems or high blood pressure, things like that, either one of them will get it under control and help them get to a place where they can get off medication. So the difference of them all is just simply if they contain all of the 5 berries, and that's going to be found in the True Age Max 120 or the True Age Max Concentrate, which is 360 milligrams of iridoid, the most potentest one we have, but right now it's on back order until March. So you can imagine how they're pumping around the clock to get that back on the market because it's just been helping that many people. So that's what the AGEs are. There is a way we can actually scan a person with what's called a True Age scanner, where it can be able to measure your AGE levels inside. So the True Age scanner is a certified research device that uses clinical proven technology to measure the AGE levels in the skin. It provides a fast and painless and accurate scan in less than 20 seconds. So when it's exposed to the UV light, the AGEs in the skin are visible through a machine called a spectrometer, which is inside the True Age scanner. So it kind of uses the advanced mathematics. The spectrometer kind of determines your AGE score based on the number of your AGEs detected in the skin. So we've got different places where we've been to the Texas Rangers, the Cowboy Stadiums, just out there scanning thousands and thousands and thousands of people, bringing AGE awareness out on the market. So you can kind of just Google AGEs if you're interested in learning more about them, or there's a 3-minute website, which is www.truage.com, where you can actually see a 3-minute video on education for AGEs, more explanation of what they are, and also the machine called the True Age scanner, and actually a understanding of more how the machine operates and the research behind it. If anyone is interested in being scanned, I will be in Houston, Texas at the GLCC Houston Church there in Houston scanning for an AG event. We will start at 2 o'clock this Sunday, and we'll be out there till about 7 o'clock, maybe 8 at the latest. So we will have lots of fun just doing AGE awareness. We will have the True Age scanner out there as well, scanning people and just educating and doing lots of consultations on people's diets and, you know, bringing AGE awareness to the Houston area. If you're not in that area and you are interested in being scanned, you can reach me at my cell phone number, which is 469-443-2124. Or you can email me at kshaw, S-H-A-W, 0026@gmail.com. Either way, you can email me or text me or give me a call. If I can't call you back, I do stay in a lot of different consultations. So if I don't call you back right away, I will get back with you to get any questions answered that you might have. If you're interested in ordering the Tahitian noni juice or the True Age Max, or any of the other products, because we have many other product lines, but I try to bring one of them each week because we have just different mini product lines, but all of our products are made from the earth. They are all noni based, so we are an exclusive company. We are a privately held company, so you cannot get these products from any other company on the planet but Morinda.com. So thank the Most High that Dr. Truman has access to these products. So if anyone on the line is listening and you're dealing with any type of problems, I'll just name a couple of few that, like I said, I'm a cancer survivor, but cholesterol, diabetes, immunity, inflammation, malaria, pain relief, like I said earlier, Parkinson's disease, varicose veins, prostate conditions, just on and on and on of different conditions that can be used as a treatment or as a preventative for just to simply, maybe you just want the antioxidants. It is superior in antioxidants to remove the free radicals that come inside of the body as well. So if you're interested in receiving this product or ordering it, purchasing it, Dr. Truman, if you can give them out that information, and there is a 90-day money-back guarantee that comes with this product with Miranda. So if any reason at all you are not completely satisfied, or you feel like that you have not really seen any improvement within the 90 days, because it takes 120 days to regenerate new red blood cells. So the whole thing about being on Noni is understanding that it's regenerating new cells. And so I tell people, I don't know how long it took you to get in the condition that you're in, but it's going to take a little bit of time to undo this condition that you're in. So making sure you're consistent 7 days a week. You simply need about 2 ounces a day of this beverage. So 2 bottles will last you about a month. Or if you're on a higher dosage dealing with cancer, something like that, then I have to get them on a much higher dosage to saturate the body with these iridoids to put the cancer into remission. So different things, case by case basis. So Dr. Truman, if you can give us that website and telephone number where they can be able to order Tahitian Noni juice or the True Age Max. And again, if you have any questions, I've given my number out. You can give me a call. If you're interested in getting scanned to know what your AGE levels are, which I recommend you should, because your AGEs are just as important as knowing your blood pressure levels, your high cholesterol levels, or your BMI index levels. So AGEs are right there. You need to know the marker on where you are on the inside internally, and how fast are you aging on the inside due to these AGEs that are coming in through your foods and beverages and causing the sugar and the protein to bind. So I would advise you to, if you could, highly recommend you to get one of these bottles. So Dr. Truman, I will turn it back over to you and give you the honor of giving out the information on where they can order these products. And if they have any questions, then they can give me a call, and I look forward to being on the call next week with probably talking more about the liver, detoxing the liver, people that have liver problems and how AGEs attach to the liver. So with that being said, Dr. Truman, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Always a lot of great information. And again, thank you. Thank you, Sister Kashakia. Now, that telephone number is 541-791-8400.